Everyone had a great lunch today, Whistling Dixie with Stephen Cox, right?
Yes, sir.
So, Superintendent of Trinity Schools, huh?
Yes, sir.
And we're just talking about lots of different things with school and health and kids and all this. And how did you get to be, or how was the route you took to superintendent?
Well, that's an interesting story because my route is definitely not the traditional route. I started off my career as a scientist in higher education. So I was a professor at Texas Tech University for about 12 years. I even left there, helped start a private, or become part of a private biotech company here in town. And really, throughout the process, my kids and wife were heavily involved in Trinity Christian School. I had become a board member at the school, heavily involved in the church. And so it was kind of the hub of our life. At one point in time, Superintendent at Trinity stepped down. The leadership of the school approached me and asked if I'd be interested in applying for that position, and I said absolutely not. But then, I started to pray through it, and at the end of the day, it's a door that God opened, and it was a great thing for us. And so, man, I just absolutely love what I do, and I've had the blessing, and this is what I tell our kids at school and in our home, the ability to find God's calling in your life and to step into that calling and enjoy that calling is one of the greatest blessings in life. Never in my life have I got up and just dreaded going to work. Now, there are things that we all have in work that they're not our favorite, but I just love what I get to do.
Right.
And so that's really the best blessing. Relying on letting God open the doors, stepping through those doors, and just allowing Him to provide what you need to be successful, that's one of the greatest blessings.
That is awesome. And so taking it from academic or with the tech to the business world.
Yeah.
Now to how many kids are in the Trinity system?
We're about 640, 650 kids right now.
And how many teachers? And
we got about 165 employees total, full and part-time. And I say that, we also have another couple hundred kids that are in preschool from birth to 3 years old. So altogether 165 employees to cover.
So that's
all
a
that.
large. So how does that private sector and all that prepare you to? It's like running a large business, isn't it?
It is. Now, in private education, I think the biggest difference, and Brad Ellison, my assistant superintendent, has been in education his whole career. And one of the biggest differences in private versus public education, a large part of my job is really fundraising and making sure that we have the resources to make the school operate. So outside of that, it's running a huge team. Key things that I'm passionate about and love learning about: leadership, how to inspire others, and how to establish a vision, find a vision that God has called us to, and then how do you rally everybody to work towards that vision. So
right, I think it's so cool, being able to take kids from preschool to senior and see them succeed. Right,
absolutely,
that's got to be rewarding.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we're having a lot of discussion in our leadership team right now is what does education look like in the coming years? Because I firmly believe that the way we, not just Trinity Christian, but the way our society has been doing education for the last 150, 200 years has got to change. A large number of the jobs that our students will get out in the marketplace when they graduate from our schools don't even exist today.
Okay.
The society, culture, work is changing so rapidly. So we have to be able to adapt to train our kids to really engage in that marketplace. And so I think there's some huge challenges, but there's also some really exciting times in store for us in education.
I think one thing I'm hearing, I'm involved heavily with FFA and and all that, is moving kids, not so like they're still focused on college, but are the next education, but moving towards, instead of going maybe a 4-year college, to a technical skill to learn the skills you're talking about that we don't even know about yet. What are you seeing out there in that?
Well, I think you're absolutely right. Our emphasis on academic learning sometimes has come at the cost of technical skill. And in reality, what we need as a society is a lot of people with technical skills. And so I think even, let's say, prior to college, elementary, middle, high school, we need to do a better job of engaging the community, engaging business leaders, and getting our students involved in endeavors that give them an experience that's real world, that gives them a glimpse of what they can do in the future. And then we need to expand as a society, as a culture, what our vision for what the next step is after, let's say, high school. Does everybody need a 4-year higher education degree.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe not. Maybe that's not the best gatekeeper into every single career field that's out there. There's probably a diversity of things that could be really beneficial. And we all know the adage, and we all know people that had never gone to college, but they're some of the smartest, brightest, most hardworking, and successful people we know.
Right.
And so I think some folks would argue that higher education is probably the next big bubble that's going to break.
Yes.
That it's going to collapse the way we know it. Maybe, maybe not. I think there's some merit to that argument. So we're at our school, we're kind of lower down the chain, but how do we really prepare our kids to the way we would say it, how do we prepare them to step into God's calling in their life?
Uh-huh.
And how do we give them the breadth of experiences that allow them to taste and see all of those things, to be able to distinguish, okay, this is really what I'm passionate about. This is what I love doing.
Right.
This is what I can see myself doing for a career, not just a job. And there are seasons when, we have to earn income to do what we do, but it's a career, it's a calling, it's something I'm passionate about.
That's awesome.
That's the best thing. As a school, we can be successful when we know that the kids have come through our school, they love serving the Lord, and they found a calling that they enjoy doing.
That's awesome.
So
that's awesome. All right. So last question is there a quote or anything that you live your life by that just sticks out in your brain?
Well, this is going to sound maybe too simplistic, but I think the thing that I love the most, that I think of consistently day to day, Jesus said that the gospel is really simple. It all boils down to two things: you love God and you love people.
Oh yeah.
And if you find a way to live your life according to those two principles, then things will tend to work out. So
love God and love people.
Right.
That is awesome. All right. Well, thanks for spending time with me today.
You bet, man.
I enjoyed breaking
it.
bread
You
with
betcha.
you and getting to know you. And I really admire what y'all are doing over there. I know those kids, we deal with them a lot, and I'm thankful for all y'all provide for their community and do for that.
You bet. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, God bless everyone.